alarm? For sure, bro. Bro, false alarm, bro. Um, cause so what I'm finna do is hold up. Um, oh yeah, hold on 1 second. Bro. So really, bro. So literally, I got faked out. A notification went out and said 228 was out at JJK. So I'm over here looking for the chapter, and then it says 7 days from now. Like, so what I'm just gonna do is that we just gonna reread the fight because I felt like too much has happened. Um, okay, all right, and then I feel like too much has happened. Too much has happened, bro. That that I can't I can't sit here and think that okay, hold on. Let me like hey, if you're in the stream right now, let me know if the sound is okay and let me know if everything else is okay. Hold up. I'm gonna double check to make sure. Um 1 second. Hold up. Um all right. All right. Well, it looks okay on OBS, so all right. All right, so let's start from 215, bro. So, or actually, let's reread is back. So that's probably like 212, maybe. I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Hey yo, bro, I can't believe that's a thing, bro. I swear, too much stuff be going on in Chainsaw, bro. Too much stuff. Two ten. Mm, it gotta be 207 then, right? Yeah, cause that's when everything start really stacking up. All right, all right, it's looking. All right, so yeah, okay. So 209 got to be what it lag? Yeah. All right, back. We're back. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is where it starts. So if we like, so this is when nuclear weapons comes back, right? Because she ends up blicking the falling devil right here, and so this fight really starts like yeah. So this is when everything gets set up, and then 213. I think yeah. Okay. This is when it's just crazy to think that like side ramp, but hold up, it's lagging. Are we good? Is it good? Yeah. So it's kind of just crazy to think that Yoshida's role in all of Chainsaw Man was just supposed to be a bomb. And I'm like, yeah, like hey man, like do you gang? But like he was so like Kishibe was hyping him up like he was finna be the next, Gojo or whatever, man. But yeah, we gonna be streaming for a minute, man. I'm not finna just get off of this because it's just I can't see my chat because or my chat's supposed to be right here, but I guess uh, oh, my bad. All right, all right. So I don't know why, but for some reason, the camera just keeps going in and out. Um, so I'm gonna keep trying to fix it, bro. But man, like, I have no idea why it's just doing that, but it's okay. Um, all right. So let's look at this chapter, bro. Or let's look at this fight. So after Yoshida's role was played out of being a switch, which is like it's just I didn't like it, but I like at least I got to see like what the Octopus Devil looked like. And I guess you could say him at full potential. But like the greatest thing he did in the story was in part one when he swapped hands with Quan Chi and survived. So yeah. But so so we get to this fight, man, and then um so Fami's like, or the real Famine Devil is like, thank goodness Chainsaw Man didn't kill us. And then Lil D says, it seems he it seems he understands how dangerous this incoming devil is. Okay. So they're going over essentially the so okay. I actually forgot about this, but it's weird because like so does Yoru and so when okay, when did this ability, right? Okay, before we even get into the fight, when did this ability come in that you can just travel between hell and earth at will? When did this concept come into this? Like, I don't remember, right? Just anybody just being able to even, I didn't even think that's a real thing. Like, it was a whole thing back in what was it? Like back when the Angel Devil was telling Aki about the two worlds of hell and I was like, of hell and earth. I think that's chapter like probably this, probably 53. Yeah. There you go. Hey, look. Hey, look. I guessed the chapter correctly. It means that I'm the Chainsaw Man enthusiast. I do this. Hey, you gotta like the video, like the stream because I guessed the chapter. So there you go. But so look, so the angel devil tells August, she's like, you probably know this, but devils don't die in the true sense. Even if they die and turn to ash, as long as people fear their name, they'll come back to life in another form. Only they don't revive in this world; they come back in hell. S- Saying that they go to hell, right? And I don't. I'm saying in the world of Chainsaw Man, the reason why I say like another dimension is like I guess in a sense it's just like think of Bleach, right? So in Bleach you have the world of the living. That's one like that's that's one area, that's one dimension in Bleach. Then you have the Soul Society. And the way that you got to the Soul Society from the world of living was going through the Garganta, whatever it was called. And and then you have Waco Mundo, which is a whole nother place. And I forgot how you got there. But the point is that in Chainsaw Man, there's two worlds. So there's at least that we know. There's Earth, the Japan, and then there's Hell. But it's like it's implied from what Angel's saying that you know this Hell is a separate time space that so when we get to back to chapter I think it was 213 or it's 213. So yeah, when we get back to 214, how is Yoru a four horsemen of the apocalypse able to just essentially go through back in hell. Like, how was she able to do it, but Makima wasn't able to do it? Like, we would think Makima would, but Makima never showed the ability to go in between, to go to hell or to hell and from Earth. She even talked about how, the battle in hell, like a long time ago, with the four horsemen and the hybrids against Chainsaw Man, but like essentially she never showed the ability, but Yoru, the war devil, has showed the ability. So I think when we go in order, hey, look, this might be a crazy take, and this might be a crazy take, but look, I would say from what I've seen so far, Yoru is the strongest four horsemen of the apocalypse. And let me tell you why. There's three main reasons. Feats? Oh my gosh. Of course. Yeah, so the camera's just gonna go out, but it'll just come back and then we can get back to talking about it. Okay. So there's three main reasons. Feats, um, battle IQ, and hmm. Feats, battle IQ, and I would say at least in ability wise, flexibility wise, I would say the War Devil is the most flexible that we've seen so far of any four horsemen apocalypse. And we can bring up all so look, and we're just gonna talk about Yoru full power. Everything she's done up to this point in full power. So she has not only went to hell, made a whole bunch of allies, has a bunch of allies at her disposal. She can essentially, with one punch, make a nuclear bomb. She consensually can turn anything into a weapon so far as a state. And this is just the basis things, but let's just go through it and let's just see all of Yoru's feats and let's compare them to the other four horsemen of what we've seen so far, and let's get a sense of how strong is the War Devil actually. So this fight is a good example. So she comes in, so it means that she has already offered one, the dimension ability to go from Earth and back from hell. So, and I ain't gonna lie, hey, that introduction is sick though. Hold on. Sorry. Yeah, when it loads, it's gonna slow down. Okay. Okay. So she comes. So I ain't gonna lie. This was a sick introduction. I ain't gonna lie. Fujimoto, mm, chef's kiss. This right here was a great final villain introduction. Now, Makima was a kind of good introduction, sort of, but the surprise was there. But just so far as overwhelmingly, like, it's kind of like, when Eisen pulls up and then, I make a lot of Bleach references, but it's so true. But it's just, you could talk about spiritual pressure. And Makima doesn't really have that kind of spiritual pressure, like giving off aura, giving off like, a sense of like, oh, like I'm just, you know, so much stronger than you. It's kind of like a subtle, like, oh yeah, I have these tactics that can just overwhelm you. And, we'll see how long you last, but you won't outlast it type. Now, Yoru has a more of like, you know, uh I want to say overwhelmingly aura. It's more of just like, bruh, like you're not finna mess with me. You're not finna mess with me. Like, look. So she comes down from hell. She has these guts in her. So she ends up, you know, citing everything, and then you know, yeah. Let's read. So she comes down. She's sitting with these guts, right? She said, "This is a quite the grand welcome, Death Devil, Famine Devil, and Chainsaw Man. Do you all need something from me? If you have to say something, then say it. Agree to my condition, and you can turn us into weapons." And then Famine Devil was like, huh? And then of course, Umar Farmer doesn't even acknowledge it. And then she's like, go home to hell and spend the rest of your life there. That's the condition. And then she's like, you really think I agree to that? If I use my power, you'll die instantly. And she said, huh. He's like, but you can't control its strength, right? Won't those friends of yours you went to karaoke with die too? And then she's like, oh, mm, oh, those friends I went to karaoke with. Oh, yeah, that's why I love Chainsaw Man. So she's like, I have your friends. Your power is unfair. Use it, and my comrades will kill your friends. So, all right, ability number two, comrades. She just has comrades, which are just devils, right? At her disposal at any time, at any point in time. So she says, so Family looks at her and Death looks at her and she says, Death, Family, I'm not interested in you two. I'm here to see Chainsaw Man. And then she stands up and then she's like, Chainsaw Man. I think the panel's messing up on me. What? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's refresh the page. Okay. She says, Chainsaw Man, let's wage war. We're 1-1. 1-1? Oh well, I'm guess she's talking about the first time they fought back in hell when he ate nuclear weapons. And I guess she's talking about when she shot him with the gun goddess or whatever it's called. I mean, if you want to count that as a win, I mean, good for you. Good for you, Shotty. So she said, "This battle will prove which of us is stronger once and for all. If you win, this world is yours. If I win, I'll claim both it and you." And then she says, "Do you accept?" And then Chainsaw Man looks at her, and she's like, "That's fine. I don't need a response." He looks, and then he just straight up speed blitzes her, and well, they kind of both hit each other. She does like three bangs and hits him, at this upper torso, which makes him spilling out blood. And then obviously she's kind of sliced through. So we get to this like um we get to this like inner world, this inner spiritual world, kind of like this, some Naruto. What was it? Talk no Jutsu Naruto, whatever. So, and this was only shown, twice in the story. This is only actually really three times. I guess you could say four times. So the first time is obviously when Pojita and Denji got into that spiritual plane world where they were talking, and Pojita was telling him that he's going to make a new contract for in exchange for the heart. He's going to essentially show him his dreams. Second, you could say is Aki. Uh, Second, you could say this is Aki when he fought in the Gun Devil and they were in that snowball world inner plane, and Denji was able to connect it with Aki. Three, you could say, is Denji and Power. And you could say that Denji and Power, when they were in that trash can, they were able to talk and make a contract in that inner world. So, and four is right here, where Denji is able to connect with Asa as he's under Pojita's control and Asa's under Yoru's control. So they get into this world, and then Denji's looking for Pojita because obviously he's taken over. So he's trying to be able to find Pojita to talk to him. I guess about like what's going on and everything, because it's kind of just like he just took over. So, but he ends up seeing Asa, and he's like, what are you doing? And she was like, I have to go over there. And then she was like, I've been chasing that for so long. So, and this is like a dream that she's been having like throughout the entire story. So, if you go back and look at these earlier pages, she ends up having this dream where she's constantly stepping over these dead chickens, and it's kind of funny how Fujimoto does this like suddenly, and then um like it's kind of like he links the at least the main character is like something is linked to their trauma, and when we finally uncover the trauma, it's shown parallelly through dreams of something that's been bothering them for a long period of time, and finally when they face these things, it changes them, kind of like the same with Denji did. But when Asa says, I've been chasing this for so long, it goes into a flashback, and he's like, chasing what? Oh, well, hold up. So yeah, he's like, chasing what? And it goes into a flashback where Denji is like, oh well, it goes into a flashback. Oh, okay. Wait, I'm tripping. So he's like chasing what, and then she just ends up just gets up and start running again, and then she steps on those dead chickens. And so we get back to the fight, and I know like this fight is sick. So from the introduction, which was peak, and then when this fight kind of gets started, it's like, bro, this fight is sick, yo. This fight is crazy, bro. This fight is crazy. So they kind of start out, saying, the feeling each other out, saying, let me see what's going on with, her, saying, let me see what's going on with him. So she ends up re-healing her body back on, and she was like, that took about 4 or 5 human lives. And then Pujita ends up looking, and then uh revving his engine, or his chainsaw cord, so to essentially heal back up the damage she took because he was bleeding. So she's like, I made a contract with the governor of California. In exchange for me not attacking California, the citizens of California will shoulder the burden of my death, which is crazy. So, well, yeah, actually, let's look right now. How many people? What's the population of California? All right. So she's not dying, essentially. Yeah. So she's not dying. 39 million? Dang, bro. So, oh, wow. So it even says it. So California has a population of 32 million. How many more times are you going to kill me? So, I mean, it's kind of the same. I mean, I think this is in 1998, 97. So, I mean, it's relatively the same. It's probably what it is back then than now. But she says to me, so after she tells him that she has this contract, she says to me the accident devil, and I'm guessing it's just one of her allies. But it's like this shows again another feat that Yoru can summon other devils, especially the strong, summon other devils from hell. So she's dimension hopping, like so Makima was only controlling the hybrids, but she's just calling in however many allies from hell at will. So she calls the accident devil. She says chainsaw man whip. So she turns the accident devil, which I think the fear accidents is pretty high. I wouldn't say it's primal fear, but it's pretty high on the list or the tier list. It's probably like A tier, A tier. S being primal fear, so it's like an A tier. Um, she turns into this whip and then just smacks my like. I'm talking about smacks literally the black off it. Like she smacked my man so hard, bro. That like, bro, like it literally it was like imagine you take an eraser and you're just erasing like you know how you used to doodle in class and you'll make like a drawing of somebody and you're like kind of like shading it in with the pencil and then imagine like you just get an eraser and it's like a and then you just erase like half of that doodle you made and this is what I look like. She literally just erased like 65% of my man's whole body with one swing of this chainsaw man whip. So which ends up sending him flying. But it's kind of weird because it's like my man doesn't even have a head here. So it's like it sends him flying, and he crashes into a building. And then she jumped, bruh. She jumped, and then oh my, she just slashes this whole building in half with this whip. This whip, pretty strong, bro. God dang. Yeah, it's just like it literally could just erase things with with one slash. But then he breaks out, and then after he breaks out, uh, or he breaks out of what she was trying to slash, and then just slices her gut, and it kills a guy, and then she tries to use the whip to. Oh my gosh! Hold on, hold up. It's gonna come back on. It's gonna come back on. It's gonna come back on. Give it 1 second. All right, back. Hey man, just gotta give me 1 second. It's gonna come back on. But hold up, hold up. I'm going to put something in the air fryer right quick. Give me 1 second. Ooh. All right. Sorry, your boy be getting hungry. All right, so she uses this chainsaw whip. Um, so I'm guessing after the dude dies, she ends up healing, and as he's falling back, she just dices my man up, like cooking him, like I can't even, like she's upside down with it. Oh my lord, like what a panel. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Um, so then we cut back to the spiritual plane world, and we see Asa and Denji just running, and we kind of see the figure that she's running as, just like a kind of like a white figure human thing, and she's saying wait, and then Denji says hey, and she said, and she says wait again, and then she said, and she screams mom, and then it shows kind of the full outline of the person, and it's Asa's mom. So So she was chasing her mom, which led into a hold up, which led into a flashback. And I'm actually probably gonna stop here because um I gotta I gotta go do some stuff. But we're gonna stop this chapter, and then I'm gonna stream tomorrow, and then we're gonna um so she's like, cause yeah, like, bruh, don't even start. So it takes her into this dream, and she says, "Mom." So she says, "Mom," and it takes her into this dream, and then we see this person on the ground crying, or essentially in awing and pain, but it's actually Asa and her dad, and then it's like a dead devil head on the ground. Asa's mom looks at her, and then she says, "We were at the riverbank as a family one Sunday when a devil bursted out the river to attack us," and then it shows the devil's head like with what it is, and then hey, I don't know what devil this is, but it looks like the something like maybe the cow devil or hmm, I don't know, man. But she says it must have been a weak one rock, but my dad lost his leg protecting me, and then she says also I'll keep pressure on his leg. You go call the devil hunters, and then she says Asa, and then she says Asa. So, and then she starts running, and then she tripped and fall, and then so it kind of tells you what her trauma was kind of tripping and falling was stemming from, is this moment when she was a little kid, and when she trips and falls, it kind of reminds her of this memory. But it was kind of like what Makima said back in like chapter, I think maybe 82, about that little kids forget those bad memories because you're little and your brain hasn't fully developed yet, and it's like you're not going to really remember you don't want to, like, you're unconsciously not going to remember the trauma that happens to you because it's a self-protecting mechanism in your brain to not let that trauma not stand from you, if that makes sense or whatever. At least in the world chainsaw man. Hey, but so she's like, until now, I wonder why I've forgotten this. And then, yeah, there you go. This is what I'm saying about Michael. I'm gonna put the panel on the screen too, so you can see it. But um, so when they got back with the devil hunters, essentially the mom ended up framing the devil for killing the dad. And then also is kind of like traumatized by this. And then she was like, "You noticed that I killed dad, didn't you?" And then she says, "But listen, if he only lost a leg, the insurance payout would be puny. It was bad enough that he wasn't working. He wasn't working. Life will only get life would only get harder. But if you've been killed by a devil, we get a big payout, and you could go to high school. And besides, he was cheating on me." And I was like, dang. Hearing that as a 5-year old, bro, I'd be like, what? What, mom? Yeah. So she says, I don't, and side note on that. I want to say is it's it's a little okay. If I had to put myself in her shoes, you know, I don't really know, but I think that this could be justified because Asa did say that her life did get better after that, knowing that her dad died. But I don't want my wife to kill me, like because I got attacked by a devil. But I mean, if I guess if I was doing all this stuff and I'm not making it, if I'm thinking for my daughter and think about it, right? Okay, think about this. If the best thing for your child and significant other is for you to pass away, could you do it? Would you do it? I mean, even if you didn't have the choice, like if the best thing for you, for your daughter, your son, was for you to pass away, then would you pass away? Simple. So she says, I don't know whether my mom was a bad person or not, because he was, but it's true that life got better after. Hold up, it's gonna come back. This is crazy, bro. Yeah. Illustream. Illustream. All right. I think it's just because it's turning off. And yeah, I'm gonna fix it next time. But essentially, she was saying that her life did get better, and her dad was violent all the time, and that you know, uh, she said that day, like when she was running through the alleys to call the devil hunters, she tripped and fell on purpose. I thought if I took long enough to call for help, maybe my dad wouldn't survive. And then, yeah, well, I mean, well, I guess if you're in that situation, then you're good, because your daughter killed you, essentially. Either way, so essentially, she was like, she asked Denji, "Do you think I'm a bad person?" And then she was like, and then he's like, "I killed my own dad and made it look like suicide, but I'm a good person." And then they just start laughing, and then that's the end of the chapter. So, um, I'm thinking that like this fight started off very weirdly with Yoshida blowing himself up, which it was like, okay, think about it this way, right? Yoshida's whole purpose in Chainsaw Man from the beginning was to be a was to be a essentially a switch or a tool to get Denji to turn into Chainsaw Man or Pojita. That's it. That's it. His whole purpose was to get Denji to turn into Pojita. It was just another way for it to happen. That's what Fujimoto put him in the story for. The Octopus Devil being one of the top devil. No, just a switch, which is crazy. So and then Barum and I guess the flamethrowers are erased. I guess there's no more flamethrowers anymore in the world. And then they start boxing. I like it with she Poja the boxing, and then her pulling out the accent devil, and then her telling us about the contract she has, and then her able to dimension hop from hell and show us that she can summon other devils from hell. Like that was all pretty cool. And then the dream going back to the trauma to figure out like what was kind of bothering us. Like this is great peak writing. So we're gonna pick up this tomorrow. I'm gonna go on stream, and then we are going to just talk about um the next three, or we're gonna try to finish it out. So yeah, man. If y'all enjoyed the stream, hit a like, hit a comment. I'm gonna try to break this up and get it on YouTube so you guys can see it. And I'm just gonna name it rereading the final battle, part one. So yeah, if y'all like this video, or if y'all like the stream, like it up, comment what you guys thought. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts about kind of how this started out. But yeah, rise out. Deuces.